All right. So mindful nerd moment for Peter Parker.
Not going to an ATM.
Wah, wah. So, in the interest of keeping it Peter Parker, the man behind the mask, and in the interest of the theme we've been doing, which is everyday stuff, I thought most of us could relate to one of the things that was irking me about Peter Parker that I shared in our episode. But uh, I thought it'd be nice to do mindfulness when Peter Parker sees MJ on a date with someone else. Because we all know that feeling. There's someone you're interested in, maybe you've even been together, and then you see them flirting with someone else, or you see them connecting with someone else. You might even see them, on a date with somebody, and just that feeling.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I can tell you
I
right away
absolutely
you
know
were
that.
feeling it.
Absolutely know that. That's what as soon as you said, I was like, ugh, I know that one.
Uh-huh.
Boy. And it's not
Boy.
even in that way, but I believe that the friend zone exists because I don't, and that's like a strange thing. But like I have been in that position where it's like someone I did like or something like that, and they're like with somebody. Like I
Mm-hmm.
know that feeling.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's what we're going to focus on is getting
Cool.
through a moment when that feeling hits you.
Ooh, that's some awkwardness. Let's do it.
All right, so sit straight but comfortably. You can close your eyes or just not focus on anything in particular. And I want you to pay attention to your breathing. As usual, don't worry about breathing in any particular way. There's no right or wrong way to breathe, just using it to focus in on the mindful nerd moment. And as you focus on your breath, I want you to shift from being you to being Peter Parker. And I want you to just imagine being Peter Parker and being in this moment where you've had these connections with MJ, but you've let her go because of Spider-Man, but you still really care for her. There's a lot of history there. You've wanted that for so long. It's hard to let go. And you're just, you're walking down a block. It happens to be near where she lives. And you just happen to look at a restaurant and you're just passing by, you look in the window and there is MJ, and she's sitting at a table, a romantic table for two, and you realize that she's on a date with someone else, and you just feel that feeling inside of that realization that she's with someone else, she's not with you, and it hurts, and it can feel overwhelming. And so you walk by the window, so you're not just standing there staring at them. But once you get away from the window, you're around the corner, you have a moment to yourself. And before you cross the street, before you keep walking, you pause, you lean against the side of the building, you feel the brick on your arm, and you feel the temperature of that brick. And you feel the ground underneath your feet. And you also feel what's happening in your heart and the feelings that are hitting you all at once. The sadness, the the thoughts of what if, that feeling of how unfair it all is because you gave her up because you're helping people. And so you allow yourself to feel, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling angry. I'm having a thought that this is unfair. I'm having a thought that I hope that date goes bad. I'm having a feeling of jealousy. And when it feels overwhelming, first off, if that feeling of maybe crying or frustration hits you, allowing yourself to feel it, and at the same time, if it gets too intense, you once again notice your arm against that brick wall, the ground underneath your feet, so that you can take in all of your experience in this moment at once. Feel your feelings, think those thoughts without it getting so overwhelming that you lose control. Because you're Spider-Man, you recognize losing control. Big things can happen. So let me feel, let me think, and when I need it, notice the wall next to me, notice the ground underneath me, keeping me solid. And when you're ready, it still hurts, but you're feeling more grounded. You take a deep breath and you keep walking. You're sad, you're upset, nothing's changed, but at least you know, and at least you can feel the ground solidly underneath your feet as you walk away. When you're ready, we're gonna switch back from the mindful nerd moment and see how that was. How was that for you, Keaton?
That was such a mature way to handle things,
I
Amber.
know, right?
A
Don't you
way
wish we could just do that every time?
because I honestly, and maybe it's because I was in different situations,
Mm.
but I did almost laugh when we were going through this one because then Peter sees her sitting down with someone. He realizes I could do so much better. Like I like that was my first part, and then I also thought about like realistically, whenever I've been in some of those situations, I've like seen the person on date, and I'm like, man, sucks for that guy. Like it's been like I said, I
And
I
hey,
yeah,
whatever the feelings are, whatever the thoughts are, they could be a lot of different things.
yeah,
They could be
absolutely.
sad, they could be spiteful. It can be jealousy, it can be relief. There can even be like happy moments. Maybe he's even feeling a little bit of happiness for her. Um r- uh, there can be all of these conflicting things because for all we know, maybe it's feeling angry and losing that relationship, but also I'm so glad that if I can't have that with her, she can still have something and I want her to
Yeah,
be happy, right? There can be all these conflicting things. And yeah, there might be some of that, well, you know what? Sucks to suck.
yeah. Well, it. I'll tell you one of the most difficult things about being a superhero is those other relationships that you have, and you're like, I wish I could tell you how awesome I am. Like, I legitimately wish I could tell you, like, I'll tell you the reason I wasn't at your play because did you see that skyscraper that was falling down? Know why it didn't? That was me. Like
That was me.
that's
Yeah.
gotta be tough, right? Like I think about it all the time, like the alter egos, like where were you when I needed because I always love Clark Kent because he always pretends like, oh, I tripped and it took me 8 minutes to stand back up again. Like he's all
Yeah. But
especially
I mean,
like
we do need, and granted, someone some people might need this skill when they are in this situation, others might not. From
yeah,
what we know about Peter Parker, he's probably not able to feel settled in the fact that, you know what, I'm off from doing the Spider-Man thing and that's worth it, and he just brushes it off. Then he
yeah,
might not need some mindfulness in that moment.
yeah,
That's not the Peter Parker that we have when it comes to Tobey Maguire. If anything, he might have the urge to make it all kind of blow up in her face, right?
right.
He keeps coming back around with her. And so, sometimes that mindfulness is helpful to just accept the situation that's happening as it is.
Yeah, and plus I do the inconvenience of a large city in a superhero world is always rough too. Because even when you
Yeah.
make plans, you're like, as soon as I saw left the house, I called my Uber. While I was waiting for my Uber to get here, I just saw someone getting mugged, and it's like, really? I've never in my life seen someone get mugged. They see it 8 times a day when they're
Yeah.
not even in costume.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a rough life. Thanks for nerding out with us. I'm clinical psychologist Dr. Amelia Brown.
And I'm educator and comic aficionado Keaton Hopkins. Check out my TV and movie reviews on YouTube at Team JVS. Check out our website at bat-therapy.com, our Bat Therapy YouTube channel, and follow us on social media. And don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/battherapy. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.